What's going on, guys? Hope you all are doing well. Happy Thursday or Friday, I guess, when you guys see this video. My name is Kris, the founder of ActivAge Daytime Senior Care, and we had a fantastic webinar yesterday. For those that joined us on our monthly webinar, thank you. Thank you to Seth, who he brought his expertise on intellectual developmental disabilities, which was a fantastic subject to cover for those that were exploring alternative or specialty options on the adult day side. It could be a great avenue to explore. So Seth, thank you for being there. I wanted to share something with everyone that it happened to me today, and I thought, this would be a great opportunity to take a moment and to share with all of you a tip when it comes to building relationships in your community. Because like I've said before, the number one problem in adult day is awareness. There's a lack of awareness of what adult day is and how it can help people. When you think about discharge planners, case managers, social workers, they are like, adult day is not part of their daily referral pipeline. It's not part of their natural conversation. It might take a very specific family member who comes through, who's going through that like discharge planning process, that like maybe asked for adult day, or it's so evidently clear that adult day makes sense that the case manager is like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe you should explore this adult day program in your area. But it's not part of their automatic like discharge planning process like they think about when they think about assisted living, senior living options, when they think about Medicare home health, when they think about DME and these other options that exist today. So one of the things, when you think about how do we generate this awareness, how do we build relationships, where we're thought of top of mind, when discharge planners are thinking about that discharge planning process, right? And I had an experience with a gentleman who came over to our club today, and he just was a reminder to me of how important it is to build deeper relationships, right? So since we opened our new location in Sarasota, I've been getting to know the community here. I've been getting to know a lot of the referral partners and a lot of the other people in the senior care industry. And this one gentleman, he's come to our events, he's supported us, he's brought things for our members. But every single time he would come, I would take the opportunity to spend time with him, talk to him a little bit, share with him just some of my beliefs, where Chelsea and I had started on our journey into the senior care world. Today was an interesting day because we had recently, I had released our new book, The Great Care Crisis. So for those that have not gotten it, let's see here. I got a book right here for you, The Great Care Crisis. It's a fantastic book. I'm a little biased. I did write it myself. But the premise of it is how we're entering a massive healthcare crisis in the long-term care space. And what's going to happen when that crisis is so prevalent that families across the country are dealing with these issues on a day-to-day basis. Not being able to find resources, not being able to find DME equipment, not calling on the Medicare home health company and they have no one to come out and service them, or they don't take the insurance, and all of a sudden these families are left to figure this all out on their own. So what's going to happen when that happens, right? So long story short, this gentleman, Jerry, he had bought my book, okay? So he came over, bought the book. He wanted me to sign it for him. I wrote a little note in there. He came into the office. We spoke for a little bit. As we're talking, things, next thing you know, 20, 30 minutes later, I know a little bit more about him. He knows a little bit more about me. He understands my philosophy and what I believe in. And then, today he stopped by because he was doing an event where they were giving out a gift basket, and he wanted to put my book in his gift basket. And so he stopped by and asked if he could buy another book and use it to put in this gift basket. So long story short, again, another opportunity for us to talk. Plus, if you think about what he's doing, like he's coming in here asking to get something that like I'm super passionate about, like the fact that he was willing, he had the idea to come and to support us, one, by buying the book, two, by coming back around a second time, buying a second book that he wanted to include in his gift basket. So this all of a sudden, this relationship has gone from an acquaintance someone that I met once or twice at a networking event to now, he's supporting me and buying my book. And now he's coming back over, for another opportunity to use my book to share with other people in the community, but also showing that respect. And of course, like as he's doing this, like I'm liking Jerry more and more. Like he bought my book for himself. He's buying my book to share with others. He's coming here and supporting our members and dropping off donuts or muffins to give to our members in the morning for breakfast. As another opportunity or another option for them for breakfast, right? So, the more he's doing that, like the more we're building a relationship. We're exchanging cell phone numbers. We're communicating and talking on a regular basis. We're building a deeper relationship than just what was once an acquaintance. And so, the moral of this story is that as this relationship deepens, think about if someone ever comes to me and they were like, hey, Kris, because Jerry works for a home care agency, right? And they're like, hey, Kris, we were thinking about going away for the weekend, and we were liking, we wanted to see if you had any recommendations for, who we could bring into the house to care for mom and dad, or while we're away. Like Jerry's going to be the first person that I think of, when it comes to sharing or recommending a home care service to that family, because of the fact that he's invested all this time, effort, energy to support us, to support our members, to engage in a sponsorship opportunity, to share our information on social media. So the reality is that he has deepened that relationship through showing genuine, authentic support. Never once asking for a referral, not just occasionally dropping off, a gift basket, but no, coming in the building, spending time with our concierge at the front desk, spending time with our marketing person, spending time with myself, asking for me personally to come out and to just spend a few minutes with him, being respectful of the fact that he knows I'm busy, and that that like he's not trying to sit here and talk my ear off for 30 minutes, but he wants to come in and just, hey, a little thing, can you do this? Love to share your book with whatever. Hey, can you write a little note in the cover for whoever gets it? Yeah, absolutely, not a problem. So he's in here for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but each of these opportunities, that relationship's getting stronger. It's getting deeper. I'm getting to know more about who he is, who his family is, who his kids are, what they do, what they enjoy. He's getting to know more about my kids and my family, and how Chelsea and I got started, and why we believe what we believe, and what the premise of the book really is. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that when you are thinking about marketing your adult day center in your market, and you don't have those relationships, you haven't built those connections in the community, it is so important for you to think about, hey, it's not about just dropping off rat cards or a brochure or a flyer and dropping off some cheap little thing you bought at the dollar store. No, what is it that is important to the person you're going to see? How can you make them feel special, or support something that they enjoy, or that they're a part of? Maybe they're on the board for the Alzheimer's Association, or Meals on Wheels, or the local senior center, or something like that. And you show support to that senior center, that cause that is important to them. And know that, look, I know that I'm not going to walk into this discharge planner's office or the social worker's office and just drop off my literature and my little cheap dollar store gift and think that like I'm going to get referrals the next day, and think that that's all I got to do. No, that's not what you have to do. What you have to do is build genuine relationships. When you think like about going into those environments and getting to know those people, do not think about it like, hey, how many referrals can I get from Mary? No, think about it, what can I do to support Mary, to help Mary, to support the causes that Mary, that are important to Mary. So think about those things. Think about, knowing that, like, look, I'm trying to build a long-term connection here, and I know that I may not get referrals from this relationship for a little while, because first I have to earn their trust. And then once I earn their trust, I have to get to a point where I'm top of mind, that when that discharge planner, that social worker thinks about discharging or recommending information to a family, that they think about like us, right? And so that takes time to get to. It could take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And are you willing to wait that long for that relationship to start showing some return on the investment you're making into it? And are you making the investment into the relationship for the right reasons, to build a genuine relationship? Because people can sense when it's fake. People can sense when you only stop by once every 6 months. You're not going to be top of mind. But if you support their causes, if you support their interests, if you support the things that are important to them, if you get to know those things, you're going to build a relationship that is ultimately going to generate referrals for you, because people want to send people your way because they like you, they trust you, they've gotten to know you, they know what you stand for, they know what your core values are, they know what you're doing with your members. So I can't stress this enough because it's so important. I know that on a daily basis, I'm not spending as much time, building those relationships out in the community like I used to. When we first started, I was the marketing person. Now, we have, marketing directors and, business development individuals out there in the community doing this work that I once used to do. So I'm not necessarily involved in that every single day, but if there's one thing I have stressed and continue to emphasize with our own team, is how important it is for us to really build deep relationships, build genuine, authentic relationships, because that's the only way that we're going to turn these opportunities or people that might be great referral sources for us, into individuals that are actually sending families our way to use our services. That's the only way we're going to raise awareness about what Adult Day is and how it can help people, is if we're building those authentic relationships. So my number one tip for you today is, when you think about going out there to market your services, to share more about what you do, go into those conversations, go into those meetings with an expectation that you're only there to get to know who those individuals are, how you can support them, and learn about the causes that are important to them. Think about, look, I'm not going in this today thinking I'm going to get a referral tomorrow. I'm going this in today to think, how can I genuinely get to know this person without being creepy, but how can I get to know this person in a authentic, genuine way, that we build a normal, natural relationship over time, and that my long-term goal is that, I hope that, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 or 4 years from now, that I still have this person's contact information. I'm still involved in, helping, people out that they might send our way. They may not even be a right fit for what we're doing, but we can help them find other resources or get them plugged into an educational event, even if they're not the right referral for us. But when that discharge planner calls, right away I'm stepping into action to help out, that referral, that family that they sent our way, so I can show to that discharge planner that I truly do care about helping them and making their life easier. And in the long run, that genuine, authentic relationship is going to produce referrals for you. But it's going to take time, and you have to go into it with a long-term mindset, and you can't think short-sighted that you're just going to go broad and share your information with everyone, and everyone's going to put their rat card. The second you walk in there, hi, I'm so-and-so. Here's our information, here's our rat cards, here's a little gift for you. Thank you, goodbye. And you don't see them for 6 months and think that, why aren't you sending me referrals? That's not how this works, okay? You got to go deep, pick the right people, spend time with people that have similar values, similar interests to you. Build things, build those deep relationships where they're authentic. It's genuine. You don't have to try. You're not faking the relationship. You're really getting to know someone for who they are and what is important to them. And they're getting to really know you and what you stand for and what your values are. So that being said, guys, don't take this lightly. It's very important. If we are going to change the trajectory of where Adult Day goes, and for those that are opening a center for the first time, when you open your center and you realize that you don't just open your doors and the floodgates open and everyone shows up. No, you open your doors and you realize, oh my gosh, where are all the leads? Where are the referrals? Where are the members? And you got to go back to the drawing board and think about your marketing plan. And this is a very important key component that, how do I build those deep relationships? How do I treat the individuals in my community in a way that they know I'm here for the long term, that they know that I'm not just here trying to coerce them into sending me a referral. So think about, how do I build these long-term, deeper, genuine, authentic relationships with individuals? Because that's the only way that I'm going to raise awareness about Adult Day, that I'm going to raise awareness about my center. I'm going to build relationships in such a way that anytime someone thinks of referring or recommending to a family a solution, they think of us. They always think of us, even if they don't even know if the family wants what we have. They're just like, I love Mary, I love Kris, I love so-and-so. Like, you gotta go at least check it out. Even if you don't decide to move forward with it, I recommend to you to just go check it out. We've had so much success from other families that I've helped over the years that have gone there, that I can't not share this information with you. And through this effort, we will continue to build an awareness around what Adult Day is and how it can help these families, and how important it is, a part of the long-term care continuum, that this solution exists. So just don't forget that. It's so important. And I know it's easy to get short-sighted when you're under financial pressure and you're under stress and you're trying to meet certain numbers that you put in your projections, and if you have investors or partners and they have these expectations of you, just know that don't let that short-sighted view ruin your opportunity to build a real relationship with someone. So anyways, guys, that's enough for today. I hope you find this helpful. If you haven't already, make sure you go to adcpro.com, get a copy of The Great Care Crisis, share it with everyone in your community. It's great for family caregivers. It's great for other senior care professionals, discharge planners, other Adult Day owners, aspiring Adult Day owners. It's applicable to all of you guys. Make sure you get a copy, adcpro.com/book. Join our monthly webinars. If you are interested in coaching or consulting or market analysis, you can find all that stuff on adcpro.com, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.